Carolina 1st District congressional primary is just 5 days away. 2 candidates remain. One of those is the incumbent, Mace. She talked with News 3's Andrew Davis about why she believes she is the best person to represent the Lowcountry.
Well, Nancy Mace has been in office for 2 years. She says she's worked hard for the Lowcountry issues and values. And while her opponent, Katie Arrington, does have the support of former President Donald Trump, Mace believes she is the right person to take on the challenges in Washington, including the economy.
And you see it at grocery stores, you see it at the gas stations, you see it in the cost of housing, both renting and to buy. So inflation has to be the #1 issue that Republicans tackle. Supply chain issues is an issue that we can tackle, and Republicans need to be able to lead on supply chain. And when you talk about supply chain and inflation, you've got to talk about regulations in this country, because it's the cost of making goods, the cost of building things and making things. Our regulatory policy makes it so much more expensive to be done here than in other places around the world. I can't remember the last time the federal government balanced its budget. And I've got legislation out there called the penny plan. You'd cut for every future dollar that the federal government would spend, 5 pennies would be cut. You can balance the budget in 5 years and then increase spending by over 10% annually every year. I've passed 16 bills out of committee, 4 bills out of the House. I have never voted to raise taxes. I've 100% voted to keep our taxes low 100% of the time. And oh, by the way, I've delivered results for the Lowcountry. It was just 2 weeks ago where we got over $50 million in funding for water projects, flooding, storm damage, drainage throughout Beaufort County, throughout the rest of the Lowcountry. My record, I have almost a perfect score of a conservative voting record. The same year I scored a 98 as a state lawmaker. My opponent scored a 30. So I would argue that our record speaks for itself in being conservative, but if you're unwilling to work with anyone, you will never deliver results for the Lowcountry or the state of South Carolina or anyone in our nation. Well, my opponent simply can't tell the truth. In fact, when she was a state lawmaker, she had an opportunity to sponsor legislation that would protect our environment, would protect the Lowcountry environment, that would protect South Carolina's coast against drilling, and she decided not to co-sponsor that bill. And that was a bill that I authored, and she told me she wouldn't sponsor it because she wanted to drill for natural gas. Well, what she didn't know, out of ignorance or just not telling the truth, is to drill for natural gas, you got to drill for oil in the first place. That is not anything that any resident or voter in the Lowcountry wants to see off the coast of South Carolina. And I understand the district. My opponent is on the wrong side of every issue Lowcountry voters care about. And she voted for the highest tax hike in South Carolina history. I've never voted to raise taxes. She's been on the wrong side of offshore drilling consistently and just simply cannot tell the truth. And the Lowcountry voters want to hear the truth. They want to know the truth. Even when they disagree, they want to know where you stand. They want someone who's going to be honest and trustworthy.
Now, Mace also says she holds firm on her plan to make sure Parris Island is an open, functioning military base for decades to come. The winner of Tuesday's primary will face off with Democrat Dr. Annie Andrews in November. Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Andrew, thank you.